Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply straight talk.
Hey, can you tell me why this guy told me I'm cute, but he doesn't date black women because we angry?
For real? That's not even right. You can't stereotype all black women like that. But you know, some people just got a shallow mentality. Or maybe just personally, he's had a lot of bad experiences when he's dealt with black women.
You see, this is why I respect your outlook on things. So, do you think I'm an angry woman?
Not at all. Now, you can be difficult at times. I mean, you can be difficult sometimes. At times. But not angry. Hey, you still pick me up after work, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, about that. It may be difficult. Get on the bus.
We have a great show for you today. So let's get the show started with your host, Reggie Maddox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. Today, we're going to be talking about dating myths. That's right, dating myths. Now, the reason this is such a great topic, a lot of us have developed, a certain mentality, a certain way of thinking, or maybe we just adopted the views of other people, or just even from our past experience of dating or trying to find that right person, that certain myths have just seemed to take in the forefront in our way of thinking when in the process of looking for a new mate. And sometimes these myths is what's keeping you from actually meeting that next person. Now, I know you may agree with some of this, but I actually want you to really try to listen to some of the myths that I'm going to bring to you. And I'm pretty sure there's 100 more outside of what I'm going to talk about today. But I actually have quite a long list, but I'm going to try to hit the high points of the ones that I know that I've heard people say. And these are some of the most popular ones. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts too. So I want to hear your feedback on, do you agree, that these are just myths, or for you, do you feel like, look, this is fact. This is reality. This is the truth. This is how people really are. But sometimes when you adopt these myths and embrace them in your life, you take them on the dates with you. You take them with you when you go out and you're meeting other people, and people can pick up on that stuff. So why don't we just jump into it and let's just see how you feel about some of these things. Now, this is one that I hear a lot. The first one we're going to tackle is, I'm working on myself. I'm becoming a better person, and there's just nobody else out there for me. Now, quite often, I hear a lot of people say oh, there's no good men. There's no good men left in the world. I'm educated, but I can't find another educated man. Or, I'm a man and I just can't find a good woman. I can't find a good woman who wants to grow and be with me. Well, I don't agree with that. I think, yes, you may not be able to find the right person, but I don't think it's fair to say that there are no good men left in this world. There are no educated men. There are no good women left in the world. Because the truth is, when you start feeling like you set your life to this high standard because you feel like you've accomplished so much that nobody else is meeting the standard that you feel you've set for your life, maybe that person you're trying to meet is in the process. Maybe they're not right there where you're at, but maybe just one or two steps down, but they're coming there. But are you eliminating that person, whether it's male or female, because you feel like, I'm here. I'm at this point in my life. If you're not at this point, you cannot be one step below me. You have to be right where I'm at or 10 steps above me. That's how some people think when it comes to relationships. If you can't match me one for one or come in higher than me, then you are beneath me. You're not ready to do what's necessary, and you're not credible enough to be with me. So you have to kind of watch that mindset, because I understand, If you're out there working and, you made something of yourself, you brought yourself up, you improved yourself, and more so on the inside, I hope, than focusing on the outside. But, internally, you become a better person. And you want somebody who has taken that same mindset and they're doing the same thing. I know you may not want somebody who's at ground zero, okay? Because that's a long haul depending on their life. But somebody who's in the process, they might be 1 or 2 steps down. Well, is it fair to say that they're not worth dating? Is it fair to say that? I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's fair to say that you're not good enough for me because I've reached this plateau in my life and you're like 1 or 2 steps below me, so you're not good enough? Because anything can happen to where you can get knocked down 4 steps. Now you're below that person. So you got to be kind of mindful of that you don't set yourself to where you are better than other people. And that when you date somebody, talk to them to get to know them so you kind of understand, like, okay, you get a good idea of where they are and you see that, yes, they are progressing, not digressing. Next, if things don't go perfect on the first date, then they are the wrong person. Now, I have seen this, okay? I've seen this. And, I've actually been a victim of this too, to where people will go out on a date with somebody. And if the first date doesn't go right, then it's kind of like, no, they were not for me. They were not the right one. Because when you're dealing with a first date, especially if it's 2 people, you might have some interest in each other. But when you get on that first date, you got to realize something. They might be a little bit nervous. You might be a little bit nervous. You're trying to get to know each other. They're trying to get to know you. You're trying to get to know them. You're trying to feel each other out. So if both people are kind of reserved, or if one person has the attitude of, listen, we're going on a date and I'm just going to sit there and they're going to have to pull teeth to get information out of me because I want to see if they can keep my interest. Well, that's not really fair because you're basically making the conversation model difficult to build because you're deciding that you're going to be a difficult person and you want this person to dig to try to get information out of you. So first dates are always tricky. They're always tricky. Now, sometimes you can go on a first date and both people hit it off. The communication is just there, but does that guarantee that person is a perfect match? I mean, because I know I've been on dates where we've laughed, we've talked, and this was the first date. It was like really nice. But come the second and third date, when you get past all of the, euphoric, oh, we're just out laughing, having a good time. Oh, we're so into this moment, free dinner for me and free conversation for me. And I want to say something else, but I'm trying to be nice with this. But the thing about it is, first dates are very difficult. And I think it's very difficult to assess a person on the first date because the first date is about appearance. Because she's looking at him, how he walks in the room. She's looking at what he's wearing. He's looking at her, what she's wearing. Sometimes a person will just have this whole mental picture drawn up before the date even starts. And I know a lot of women have expressed this, that when they go on a date, many women have an idea of how this date is supposed to start. From the moment he arrives, she has already envisioned everything that he is supposed to say and do and everything he's supposed to act on, even from the restaurant to the end of the night going home. It's all supposed to be done in a way that she has visually imagined it supposing to take place. And sometimes if a guy comes in, he can be a nice guy. He can be very respectful. But if he doesn't say anything or anything that she felt he should have said or do something he felt he should have done, then it's kind of like, he let me down. And that's common. It happens. It happens. Like I said, it's the first date. You're getting to know each other. So every first date is not really a perfect date. It may be a fun date, but it's not always going to be perfect. So you have to allow and understand that this is just a time to get to know each other. You try to make each other comfortable just by expressing yourself, opening up the conversation gate. That's what the first date should be. Conversation, not sex, not talking sex. It's conversation. Getting to know about the person, not the body. Okay. So that's that's another dating myth. You know, if things don't go perfect on the first date, then you're with the wrong person. The next one is men don't put much prep into dating. As a man, let me tell you this. Men put a lot of prep work into dating. Now, here's the thing that I think women got to understand. When a woman gets ready to go on a date, you know, there's so much thought that she has to put into, like, men put thought into our clothes as well, what we're going to wear, depending on where we're going. But women just have more layers to put on when they do their clothes. You know, the bras, the panties, I do not know women clothes, dresses, skirt, blouses, all that stuff, pantyhose, stockings, if they're wearing stockings. So all that stuff for women have to blend and sort of match together. Whereas men clothes are built. Men clothes are pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? Nice slacks, nice shirt. If you're going somewhere to put on a tie, you put on a nice tie, nice pair of dress shoes, get you a nice haircut. Make sure you got some lotion on your skin so you're not ashy. Make sure you got some chapstick so your lips are not all chapped up. And just make sure you're clean. Hygiene is good. There you go. But for women, it's a lot more. It takes a lot more to do a woman's hair. Women have to do makeup. So that takes time. You know, all of the shaving, if they, like have little hair on their underarms or chest or whatever, women grow hair too sometimes. But all of that stuff, women have more. It takes more for a woman to prep as far as getting dressed than it does a man. Now, some men probably takes a long time too. I don't know. But, for that aspect, it does take women more time to prep. Men prep mentally very hard for dates. Because believe it or not, women, when men go on dates, we do have a mental prep, because we want the date to go well. Especially when you talk about a man that really has invited somebody out on a date, really interested in that person. They want to make sure that they're going someplace nice. And they're thinking, we're going here. We're going to do this. We're going to go here. Okay. He's thinking about the conversation. He's thinking about, things that's got to take place. He wants it to be a nice date. So mentally, the man is thinking. He's prepping mentally, whereas the woman may be prepping more physically. So don't think that men don't prep for dates. They do, just not in the same way that women do. Okay. Next, let's see. Okay, let's take this one. The right person will accept you at your worst. Now, this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one because I do understand that the right person will understand, that sometimes you're not always going to have, like, for a woman, she's not going to wake up every morning with the same makeup on. When a person has a cold, they got, their nose is runny, they're drooling, they're coughing, their eyes are red, they just look a hot mess. So I get that. So, but there is a difference between accepting a person at their worst than a person who's bringing their worst and saying, you should be accepting me. This is my test that you're accepting me. If you can't accept me now, then you won't accept me later. So they kept presenting the worst of themselves to a person and thinking the other person should be grateful, should be thankful. And it's like, I never quite got that. So when a person said they accepted somebody at their worst, I get that. Hard times come, things happen. But this should not be taking place on the first date of the relationship. It should not be the first date is not a relationship. It should not be taking place within like the first couple dates. You know what I'm saying? You don't bring your worst at the beginning. So down the line, yes, once you get to know each other and you become official, then I can see someone saying, okay, they've gotten to know you. They've gotten to understand you. So yes, now I can see someone saying, the right person will accept you at your worst in a responsible way. Not somebody just being their worst just because they feel like the other person should be grateful for accepting them at their worst. Next, I've never loved anyone like that again. Now, I think a lot of us have said this, and I think a lot of us feel like this, that we would never love someone, especially after you've been hurt and you feel like you've given so much of yourself. And it's tough, but it's a myth to feel like that, because the truth is you're going to love that way again, but probably it's just going to take some time that once you heal, because you don't want to say that I never loved somebody again or that way again, especially if you really love somebody, because you get to meet somebody new. The problem is if you're going to be holding back because you don't want to give your heart or your true feelings to somebody, your true love, you're cheating that person. And you're actually being robbed, because the person who hurt you or made you feel like that is still getting something that they don't deserve from you. They're getting your energy. They're getting your thought. They're still getting an emotional feeding off of you, when the person who's trying to be there for you is getting robbed. He's getting cheated. This male or female is trying to be there for you and be what you need, but you're not giving it to them. And that really doesn't make any sense. So yes, I understand. When you're hurt, you always feel like, man, I'm never going to love this way again. I'm never going to, give my heart to anybody like that again. Don't say that. Take your time. Heal. Get over it. Remember, it was the person that hurt you, not love itself. It was the person. So you have to remember that, yes, you hurt. You're feeling like you wasted your time. You feel like you wasted your energy, your resources. Heal. Take your time. Learn from what happened. So when that next person come along, you have a better understanding of who that person is, and you know that you're getting what you gave back. So you're not cheating the next person, who will probably end up feeling like, wow, you're not really into me, so I'm wasting my time. Bye-bye. Go back to the person you still thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
Hello, Simply Straight Talk family. If you are enjoying this episode, at the end of the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. And why not share this with a friend? Also, visit our blog at newlifenewmind.com, where you can find additional articles on more great topics. Stay tuned. The show will continue right after this message.
This is Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie, bringing the conversation straight to you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Simply Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Reggie Mattis, and today we're talking about dating myths. We're talking about the ideas and the beliefs that we sometimes adopt into our lives when it comes to dating that may be keeping you from meeting the right person, or it could possibly have you turning away the right person and really affect your dating. A lot of us right now, everybody wants to find that right person, that special person, that person that makes you, believe that everything you dreamed love would be has come true. But sometimes we can become our own worst enemy by adopting some of the things that we see from other people or carrying on false beliefs from our past relationships and bringing those into our present, because we're basically saying this last person made me feel this way, or this last person did this, which now makes me believe that every woman or every man is going to shadow that same experience and is going to bring that same thing into my life. So you might meet a good person, but the minute you see that one sign that kind of reminds you of somebody from your past, you're ready to drop the relationship. You're pulling your emotions back. You're holding back. The other person has no clue what's going on. And it's not until the relationship comes to an end that we come to realize where the mistake was and what happened. Now, there are a lot of myths out there about relationships and a lot of things that people adopt into the mindset that can affect the way they see and also the outcome of potential good relationships. And we talked about some of the myths earlier, but now we're going to get into a few more. So Right now, let's talk about the next myth that we kind of, have had people say that this is what they believe. Now, this is one of the biggest ones. Now, I'm not here to dispute what other people think. These are actual ideas. These are actual myths that people say, look, this is what I believe. And we're just going to share them with you. Now, I can't change their mind, but hopefully I can maybe get them to see both sides of the spectrum. I cannot talk today, y'all. Okay. Race determines if it's going to be a good mate. Now, here's the thing. I've heard this a lot because there's a lot of myths about black women. There's a lot of myths about white women. There's this thing now about, women overseas are better mates than American women. And I can see because here, let me put it like this, because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. Culturally, everybody is brought up a certain way. Okay? There are different cultural teachings that people experience through their ethnic group, through their race. Okay? Now, traditionally, we all know that Asian women and sometimes Hispanic women are brought up in homes where they're taught to really take care of the men. And that's even true in white American homes, black American homes. But here's the thing, that all can change based on the experience a person has with someone else. Because you can have a woman who really believes that, listen, as my wife, it's my responsibility to make sure that my husband is taken care of. It doesn't mean that she's a weak woman. It just means that she wants to make sure that her husband knows that he's loved. So she don't mind cooking. She don't mind cleaning. When she works, she wants to sit down, be a part of the household, make sure everything is taken care of. Actually, that's how both the man and woman should be. It's a joint thing, guys. It's not just one. But some people believe that because of a person's race, that they're going to be better. So some people believe that, white women would treat a man better than a black woman would. Some people believe now that if you really want to find a good wife, you got to go overseas. Don't date in America. And, and there's things about, black men don't like to take care of their women. They're not romantic. They don't like to spoil their women. White men do a better job than black men do. So it's all of these stereotypes that can really hurt you when you're looking for a relationship. Remember, if you think that you're going to date a race just to find a particular person, you're wrong, because you got to realize something. Yes, there are 1 million black men, 1 million black women. There are 1 million white women, 1 million Hispanic women, 1 million white men, 1 million Hispanic men, 1 million Asian men, 1 million Asian women, 1 million Indian women, 1 million Indian women. Okay, y'all get my point. It's 1 million of everybody, okay? But here's the thing. People are really, really built around their experiences. So if you meet a man or woman that has truly been hurt by someone, you know what I'm saying? That they're going to carry that with them, especially if they dealt with 2 or 3 breakups. They may begin to adopt the mindset of, listen, the more I put into a person, I don't get nothing back. So you know what? For now, I'm holding back. Don't expect all that cooking, cleaning, laundry, all that type stuff. And you may have a man who's like, listen, the last couple of women I've dated, I was really had my heart into it. They didn't have to pay any bills. I took care of the cars. I just made sure everything in the house was fixed. I came home every night. I was there. I provided. And they might meet a woman, and the next time they meet after those 3, heart-wrenching breakups, they might be like, listen, if I meet another woman, she needs to have her own. I have my own. We'll work together, but I am not putting everything I got into it before because I'm tired of getting burned. And that's what happens. People date people and they end up getting burned, but they sometimes would carry that into the next relationship. So just saying that because of a person's race or ethnic background that they're going to be a better mate, that's not true. Okay, so you got to let that go, because you might end up missing out on a really good person just because you feel like, they're black, they're not going to be good. They're white, they're going to be good. Or, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't do that. So I don't get why people get that thinking that race is going to determine that person's a better mate. Next, online dating isn't safe. Dating in general, you can actually say isn't safe, because it always takes you to be conscious is aware of what's going on when you're dating. So I think online dating, me personally, is definitely safer than meeting in person, because online, it has its pros and cons. The biggest con to it is you don't know who you're really talking to on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you meet somebody in person, you're meeting them face to face. So you know this person, you see this person. But on online dating, you have control of when you meet. You can go back and reflect over emails and stuff like that, over chat sessions to see if they're telling lies, if their story's consistent. Whereas face to face, you're sort of meeting them, but you have to give out your phone number. So now you got to deal with, if it doesn't work out, this person keeps calling you or trying to reach you. Whereas with the email, you can just simply block and never hear from them again. So it just depends, so is online dating safe? It's about as safe as actual meeting in person, So online dating is safe. You just got to make sure that you follow the same dating rules that you do if you're meeting somebody you meet at a mall or at a store or on the job or whatever. Hey, your first meeting needs to be in a public place. Talk to the person on the phone for a while. And the same thing with online dating. You talk to that person through emails, whatever, for a while before you actually meet. And most online dating profiles now, or, apps or whatever, they actually have this thing to where you can call a person and you're not using your phone number. They're using like this little fake, it's a hidden number. They can't see your number, but you can call each other and you can stop it whenever. So you can hear their voice without giving out your phone number. That's pretty good. But online dating is safe, but it's as safe as you implement the practices that need to be in place. So you got to remember that. They also say that men are not romantic, which is not true. Some men are, some men are not. I am romantic. I love to romance a woman. But honestly, from my perspective, just based on the women that I've known, I have yet to meet a romantic woman who returns it. So when you're romantic and you're doing romance and the person's like, oh, thank you, you kind of want that romantic person back. Another one is love conquers all. Does love, that's not true. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not true. No matter how much you say you love a person, sometimes I think you can really like a person a bunch, but it doesn't mean that you're in love. That's a whole nother thing. So does love conquers all? No. I think love will help you to, kind of be there for a certain period of time. But eventually, if something doesn't change or there's no compromise or it doesn't get better, no matter how much you love, you might end up just kind of bailing out. Everybody don't have that Jesus love. That's one of a kind right there. All right, guys, we're going to take a little break, so we'll be right back after this message with the final thoughts right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
Don't even think about it. We got more straight talk just for you.
All right, Simply Straight Talk family. We want to return the love you have shown us back to you. Reggie will be giving away great prizes during certain Simply Straight Talk podcast shows, so make sure you subscribe and listen to the show for your chance to win. Just imagine being able to take 4 people to the movies, a free night in a hotel, a gift card with cash for a restaurant, or one of our Simply Straight Talk podcast shirts. There will be other prizes as well. For more information, visit our website at www.rmviaging.com and click on Simply Straight Talk Podcast in the menu.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back for the final thoughts of today's show. And today we are talking about dating myths. That was the topic of our conversation today. We all want to find that person that's going to make us feel loved, that's going to make us feel happy. Somebody you can share those good, those bad times, those intimate moments with. But you know what? You got to realize something, that there are going to be a lot of myths when it comes to dating. Things that people have developed over the years from their past relationships, things they have maybe been taught by their household, their family members, their friends. But the thing you got to remember is this. You cannot treat every date that you go on based on the dates from your past. Yeah, past. Yes, past. Yes, there are things that you're going to learn, from your previous relationships, times when you was hurt, things that disappointed you about the relationship. But you got to make it a learning session and not a myth session to where you are placing, a generalization of an idea on everybody. Because when you place that on everybody, then you're really limiting your dating pool. Because as soon as the opportunity comes to meet somebody else, you're going to find out that you're really going to start to feel, like you're cheating yourself. You're going to begin to feel empty because nobody's ever going to live up to your standard. You're going to be basing every relationship on somebody from your past. That person has probably moved on, met somebody else, and now you are the one that's having to try to figure out how you're going to get back into this thing, how you're going to make it all work. And the only way to do that is you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to take every date as it is, one step at a time, one step at a time. That's how you do it. Get to know the person and try to leave all of the myths behind. Because when you bring those myths into your current relationship, you're creating a serious problem. You're pretty much going to end up shutting yourself out to where you're not going to be able to actually win at dating, because you're going to be so caught up in all of the things that took place before that's where your mind is going to focus at. You're going to be focusing on that hurt. You're going to be focusing on that pain. You're going to be focusing on the troubles. And the problem is you're so focused on that and what happened years ago or a year or two ago that you're going to end up missing out on what's right in front of your eyes. You're going to end up missing out on that person that's going to bring you happy. That's going to make you happy. That person that's going to make you smile. If you don't learn to put aside all of the myths, all of the drama, all of the things that will make you call into question everybody that you meet, then you're not going to be able to find real love. You got to put all that stuff behind you. You got to let it go. Because there's a lot. Everybody's going to be telling you, oh, men are this, women are that, women of this culture is this, women of this race is that. You have to come to realize that you got to get to know each individual for yourself. That's what's important. Get to know each individual for yourself. Because if you don't take time to do that, then you're putting yourself into a serious problem. A problem that you're going to be judging a good person and losing a good person before the date even started. So yes, there's a lot of dating myths out there, but make sure that you're operating out of facts and not myths when you are trying to meet someone to bring into your life. Hey, that's it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is your host, Reggie Matters. And don't forget, join us every Friday. Every Friday, a new show is there for you. So make sure you check us out. Make sure you join us also on the New Life, New Mind. And make sure you check out that. It's a great blog with some great motivational articles. Hey, and don't forget to check out the Living in Prayer. Okay, short messages that we send out 3 times a week. These messages are meant to inspire you. So if you're going through the day, you just need that little bit of up from the Word of God. Hey, why not play this little 30-second, 46-second message, man? Just to kind of boost you up. We all need it. All right. That's the Living in Prayer podcast. It's not 30 minutes. It's just little 30-second messages that you can play whenever you want, man. You need that motivation. We all do. Hey, I love you guys. Thank you all for the support. Don't forget, we'll be back next Friday with another show. And I think you're going to like it because we're going to be talking about loaning money to family and friends. And they don't always want to pay you back, but they always want to borrow more. Hey, I love y'all, man. Y'all join us next week right here at the Simply Straight Talk Show.
That's this week's episode. Thank you for listening and being a part of the Simply Straight Talk podcast. We truly appreciate your support. Be sure to visit us at simplystraighttalk.com to join the conversation, access show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content on Patreon. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join us next week for another episode.